while the O.J. Simpson trial was going on and occupying the front pages of headlines all across the world, and especially here in America, there was a Holocaust taking place in Rwanda. Rwanda is a country in Central Africa about the size of the state of Maryland. And there are two tribes of people that live in this country, all working together, going to school together, neighbors. And hatred took over. And through just an unfortunate set of circumstances, Immaculee was in college, and she came home to be with her parents. And this Holocaust broke out, and the Hutus and the Tutsis renewed ancient tribal hatreds. And the Hutus slaughtered almost 1 million people in 90 days. In a country the size of the state of Maryland, 1 million bodies were hacked to death, including all of Immaculee's family except one brother who happened to be in Uganda at the time. Immaculee was a Tutsi, and she hid in a bathroom with 7 other women for 90 days, eating scraps of food and crumbs to stay alive. Her weight went from, what were you, about 250 pounds then? Beautiful, thin thing. But she's 5'9" or 5'10", and her weight dropped down to 67 pounds. And while she was in the bathroom, she had a radio that they could hear outside. And she could look through the crack in the window and see the Hutus out there with their machetes, coming in and searching, but the bathroom had been hidden by a minister. And they never moved the big closet type thing that was covering the bathroom, and she wasn't discovered. In there she learned English, and she also found God. And when she was released, there were a group of people that were doing most of the killing. They were called the Interahamwe. And they walked around with machetes killing women and children and babies. It didn't make any difference. If you were Tutsi, you were considered a cockroach, and you were to be killed. No exceptions. And they were encouraging this on the radio, and she could hear this while she was in the bathroom with these 7 other women sitting on top of each other, a bathroom that wasn't as big as this stage. And when they finally, the French came and they set up a camp, a place where people could finally be free, President Clinton said that it was the greatest failure of his administration, that they didn't do something. It's what made him move into Serbia 2 years later and stop the Holocaust that was going on there. But in 1994, and the world didn't know so much about it because the headlines were all on this trial. And you have to understand, this is 1 million human beings. And when she walked out, she was, I don't know how many yards, but let's just say 100 yards from the entrance to the camp where she would finally be free. She was a 67-pound skeleton. And an Interahamwe with a machete confronted her on the road the last 100 yards before she would find freedom. And they didn't spare anyone. Right, Immaculee? No one was spared, including her parents and all of her siblings. They were slaughtered mercilessly in horrible, horrible conditions. She, with her divine love, who had found God to survive, talked that Interahamwe into putting his machete down. Such is the power of this woman. When I met her, I looked through a series of titles. I titled her book for her, Left to Tell. She was like Viktor Frankl, who I was on a program with in 1978 in Vienna, one of the great honors of my life that I wrote about, and I can see clearly now, Victor Frankl and I, who survived, he believed, his years at Dachau and Buchenwald in order to tell the story. Man's Search for Meaning. It was a great honor of my life. The next honor was meeting Immaculee. Ladies and gentlemen, listen to the beauty and the perfection and the expression of a woman who has gone beyond judgment, criticism, condemnation, to a place of forgiveness and love. One of my dearest friends, someone I treasured so much as a friend, someone I traveled with for 2.5 years to make sure her story got out. She became friends with our family. Immaculee Ilibagiza.
Thank you so much. It was very emotional to hear that letter, and I still remember it.
I saved it. Yeah.
Thank you. You know, I cannot put in words the blessing of God for making me meet Dyer. It was that time you just feel like life had changed. There was a genocide to destroy, and there's a moment of love to build as much as the genocide have destroyed. And the love this man gave to me, to my story, it was almost that kind of love you feel, I know people can love this much. Why is it they can't? And you see